Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
Nice to see you. Have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar? What they have done to our country by allowing these millions and millions of people to come into our country, and look at what's happening to the towns all over the United States. And a lot of towns don't want to talk. It's not going to be Aurora or Springfield. A lot of towns don't want to talk about it because they're so embarrassed by it. In Springfield, they're eating the dogs, the people that came in. They're eating the cats. They're eating the pets of the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame. As far as rallies are concerned, as far as the reason they go is they like what I say. They want to bring our country back. They want to make America great again. It's a very simple phrase, make America great again. She's destroying this country, and if she becomes president, this country doesn't have a chance of success. Not only success, we'll end up being Venezuela on steroids.
Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, presidential debate 2024. President Xi of China, he's a tough cookie. I know him. Kamala Harris. Fucking Mrs. Giggles, Giggle Fest, Giggle Works. Giggity giggity. Giggling. Is it me or does fucking Kamala Harris look like that fucking the old school Joker? You know the Joker from Batman, like the 60s Batman? Cesar Chavez or whatever the fuck his name is, Julio Chavez or Che Guevara, whatever the fuck his name is. That the guy who played the Joker in the 60s Batman. Doesn't fucking Kamala Harris Giggle Fest? Doesn't she look like him? Montel was smashing the Joker. Montel's side piece. Anyway. God bless Montel. I like Montel, but I don't like Kamala. Hell.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
What's happening, folks? It's your old chuckle buddy. Guess who? Johnathan James Ramcharan. Reporting live for duty on this magnificent September 11th in the year of our Lord, 2024. Welcome and bienvenue to Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast. Oh, hey, folks. How you doing? If you're new to the show, Johnathan Ramcharan, the podcast, that is, this is a show where I gob, gab, squawk, and blab about myself in order to relate to y'all's self, y'all the dear listener, y'all the dear viewer. Shared experiences, kindred souls, BFFs forever. Yeah. The show is available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Odyssey, YouTube, Rumble. Check it out. Yeah. We talk current events, politics, entertainment, the times of the time, the whole wackadoo, the whole enchilada, folks. You really can't go wrong. Hot off the presses this good day. Semi-breaking news. The day after presidential debate 2024. Donald Trump, Kamala Harris, presidential debate 2024. President Xi of China, he's a tough cookie. I know him. Kamala Harris. Fucking Mrs. Giggles, Giggle Fest, Giggle Works. Giggity giggity. Giggling. Is it me or does fucking Kamala Harris look like that fucking the old school Joker? You know the Joker from Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, Batman. Like the 60s Batman. Cesar Chavez or whatever the fuck his name is. Julio Chavez. Or Che Guevara. Whatever the fuck his name is. That the guy who played the Joker in the 60s Batman. Doesn't fucking Kamala Harris giggle fest? Doesn't she look like him? Montel was smashing the Joker. Montel's side piece. Anyway. God bless Montel. I like Montel, but I don't like Kamala. Hell. Well, it's not that I don't like her. It's just that she's a phony. You know, she's 75% puppet, 25% con woman. I mean, it's obvious that, like, you know, if you're paying attention. See, like, I never knew about the deep state stuff until, like, recently enough. But I've always generally known that, politicians and the powers that be are just a bunch of phony baloney. A bunch of mumbo jumbo. They're out there fucking shuffling the shells. It's a con game. Right? So, like, obviously she's 75% puppet, 25% con woman. You know? It's not like she's a dummy. I mean, she's very adept at, talking and blah, blah, blah. I mean, even that she has just recently proven. I mean, up until this point, she's been doing, like, no interviews. You know, she's not seen as a leader on a public stage, as a public speaker. But, I mean, I guess she's a high-level politician. She's a career lawyer. So, obviously, she's good at shuffling papers and running her damn mouth and, connecting the dots that way. But, I mean, does she inspire anybody? Bunch of crybaby DEI people, maybe, but not anybody in the real world. Anyway, presidential debate, 2024. Kamala Harris, Donald Trump. So how I see it, if you've been paying attention to the story, Trump won. If you understand what's been going on, even if you've been paying attention with common sense, like I have been, paying attention, basic common sense, like I got two eyes, I got ears, I got a nose, I can sense things, I can smell things, touch things, see things, comprehend things, basic common sense. Like that's how I've been approaching things in my life. So if you've been paying attention like I have, you understand that Donald Trump won the debate. Now, look at it. It's like, okay, if you recall, just recall, please, I'm asking you, recall. Be honest and recall what was going on at the end of 2020 towards the first debate. Trump, Joe Biden, 2020. The Mueller scandal, the Mueller report, that came out sometime in 2019. So it debunked the whole Russia scenario. That blew my mind. I was like, oh, wow. It's been fake news all along. Because up until that point, I was like most people. I'm watching the news. I don't really believe the news. I don't really believe politicians, but I didn't think it was that bad. I didn't think the news would lie to us that bad. I didn't think the deep state was that deep. I thought it was just kind of surface level. People want fame and adulation. They want a cushy job. They want money. That's what politics is about. It's just about a bunch of dildos and doorknobs scrambling to make a few bucks and get some stage time. I didn't know that the deep state ran that deep. I didn't know that their lies and their thirst for power and their, corrupt ways were that deep. So 2019, the Mueller report, boom, blew my mind. Wow, the whole thing's a sham. Fake news. We've been lied to. Holy shit, maybe Trump, maybe there's something more to him than meets the eye. Then we go into 2020. The presidential debate, 2020. Trump, Biden, COVID, all that stuff. Obviously, Trump handled it like a champ. He stood up with strength, power. He provided health options for people who wanted vaccines, for people who didn't want vaccines. There was a lot of options and a lot of help and a lot of leadership in the Trump administration during COVID. Okay, boom, boom, boom. Whatever happened with the election 2020, it's still out to lunch. It is still yet to be seen. We don't really know. I don't have any reason to trust the Democrats in America. I don't got no reason to trust them. They're liars, fakes, phonies, frauds, bunch of mumbo jumbo baloney, hogwash. Can't believe a damn thing they say. So, I mean, it's still under, the full truth hasn't come out. Just as with COVID, the full truth hasn't come out. We don't know what happened with COVID officially. We don't know what happened with the 2020 election officially. Anyways, Biden got into office. Fast forward, it was a coup. It was a setup from the jump. I saw that, man. I was watching that debate. I was like, oh, it's a setup. Because they called for the CNN debate with Trump back in June. They called for the debate. It was a setup. It was like a lamb to the slaughter. They shuffled Biden out there. He got pummeled. And then they didn't waste a second. They didn't spare a second to throw him under the bus and get the whole Kamala Harris train a-chugging. Choo-choo. Choo-choo. They got that Kamala train a-chugging. The second Biden bombed during that debate. It was a setup. So here we are. Trump-Kamala debate 2024. So Trump won. If you've been paying attention, like I outlined, all the things that I outlined, though Kamala didn't bomb. She didn't tank. It was a possibility that she would have just shit the bed completely. She was able to survive the debate, though she looked terrified. She looked like a deer in headlights. She was twitchy, her eyes were all, and when she talked, she had this look of constipation and consternation on her face, and everything she had to say was, like she looked very uncomfortable, very ill at ease. Trump was just stoic, delivering, stoic, saying his piece. Even when she played dirty and called him all sorts of names, well, she didn't really call him names, but she was just very rude, disrespectful, brought up things that would just, she was just nasty, all around nasty towards him. And he didn't really take the bait. He didn't really seem under pressure or upset at any point. A couple funny lines, though. Kamala Harris was interjecting. She was talking from the sideline during his time. At one point, Trump goes,
She gave up at least 12 and probably 14 or 15 different policies. Like, she was big on defund the police. In Minnesota, she went out. Wait a minute. I'm talking now. If you don't mind, please. Does that sound familiar?
Excuse me. Okay. I'm speaking right now. Sound familiar? Anyway, the economy, they blew it. Excuse me, I'm speaking right now. Sound familiar? That was a throwback to the vice president debate 2020. Kamala versus Mike Pence. So that was a throwback. I'm speaking right now. Sound familiar? A couple times too, he admonished her. Quiet. Told her to be quiet at one point. And I guess she fussed and fighted and, she tried to show that she had a backbone, but it was just so phony. A bunch of phony baloney. Like at the beginning of the debate when they did the handshake, she walks up and goes,
Kamala Harris. Let's have a good debate.
You see, have fun.
Thank you.
Welcome to you both. It's wonderful to have you. It's an honor to have you both here tonight.
Kamala Harris, right up in his face. Like, it's just a fake, phony display of perceived power. And I've been watching Kamala Harris, and I've been listening to her speak. I watched her DNC speech, and like I believe that she's like 75% puppet, 25% con woman. Then there's another part of me that wonders, like, does she actually believe what she's saying? Because one of the biggest criticisms of the left, liberals, the Democrats, this is a quote that I got from the famous Thomas Sowell, the researcher, the financial, I don't know, he's like he's an economist, a researcher, Thomas Sowell. He said something along the lines of, it's not necessarily wrong how the Democrats think or how the left thinks. It's not exactly wrong. It's just that it's not reality. There's nothing wrong with this utopia, lovey-dovey vision that they have. It's just that it's not reality. So with Kamala Harris, when she's all up in Donald Trump's face, Kamala Harris, like trying to throw this kind of confidence around and like, does she even understand who she's talking to? She's talking to a man who took a bullet in the ear, stood up and immediately shouted, "Fight, fight, fight." This is a guy who like went to the Taliban in Afghanistan, the leader of the Taliban, and he goes, "Don't do it. Don't do it." Whatever the guy's name is, Gerard or Jamal or Hussein, whatever the fuck, the leader of the Taliban. "Don't do it, Jamal. Don't do it, Hussein. Don't do it." And he shows him a picture of his house. "You see this? There's a picture of your house. Think about it. You're going to have to figure it out, whatever that means." This is a guy who stands face to face with terrorist organizations, the Taliban. This is a guy who stands face to face with world leaders, dealing with them all the time. President Xi, he's a tough cookie. Kim Jong-un, Putin, he knows them all. Trump's a tough cookie. And think about what he's done in business. Think how many business deals he's had. Business is a cutthroat world. Real estate is a cutthroat world. Ain't nobody out to give you money. Ain't nobody out to give you anything in this world. Especially high stakes business, real estate, property. Trump built the New York skyline, more or less. If you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. New York, the belly of the beast, like a world-renowned city full of the creme de la creme, the wheels and deals, the wheeler dealers. You think you're going to stroll through the real estate market in New York and just call shots without somebody pushing back, without a little bit of without anybody trying to push back and contest you? So do you see that point where it's just like, it's such a phony fake that it doesn't mean anything in this world. The world doesn't, like, the truth of the world is, like, your bite better be worse than your bark. Because the real sharks, the real wolves, the real hounds, they smell it. They smell it. Notice how when Kamala walked up, and Kamala Harris, that fake phony display of power, the entire time she was on her heels. Well, the thing about the economy is, what we're going to do is we're going to implement tax cuts, and we're going to get small businesses working, and we're going to invest in people, and this is a new vision forward. And she looked like a fucking squirrel. And that's an insult to squirrels. I like squirrels. But she looked like a squirrel. She was like all twittering and, in her eyes. Trump was just like, No, see, that's a lie. They didn't do that. This is what happened, okay? We are on the brink of World War III, okay? I'm going to get it all solved. Putin, I know him well. Zelensky, I know him well. I'm going to sit down, I'm going to talk to them, all right? They would never be doing that thing under my watch. Iran was broke, all right? They were broke, all right? Because of them. The most embarrassing day of our life in America was that pullout of Afghanistan. All right? It is sick. These people are sick. Like, did Trump look shook? Did Trump look uncomfortable? No. And that's what really goes on in this world. Like, just to give a little comparison, like, man to man, people know. They know borders and boundaries. Like, your bite better be worse than your bark. Because I'm the kind of guy where it's just like, I don't care what people say to me, but in my back pocket, like I've had so many times where people like be posturing and talking at me stupid and nasty. This is a crazy, nasty world. You run into all sorts of weirdos. And, I ain't no tough guy, but I'm a man willing to defend himself and a man who understands that I must be ready to defend myself at all times. And sometimes I'll be talking to a person and they're getting all heated and talking stupid and crazy people at the grocery store, crazy people on the street. And it's so funny when, I usually calm down. I step back and I'm watching. And as they're running their mouths, I'm thinking solar plexus, throat, head, butt, knee, elbow. I'm just like calculating what I'm going to throw on them in case they fuck with me. I'm just like, okay, yeah, keep talking. Head, butt. Yeah, okay, look at you. You arms down by your side, fists unclenched. If you make a stupid move, I'll just punch you right in the solar plexus, choke you out. I'm just like, yeah. That's the truth of the world, man. People don't care about how you posture and how you act. It's what you're capable of delivering and what you demonstrate. So what I'm trying to explain there is like when you see a person who's demonstrating bravado, but their body language isn't showing danger, then you kind of understand that they're barking. You understand when somebody's barking at you by their body language. It's like, oh, look at this guy. He's talking tough, but his hands are down by his side, fists unclenched, staring up into space, running his mouth. I'm going to step back and I'm going to give him his space to talk like an idiot, but I'm ready to fucking throw that headbutt if he fucks with me. I'm ready to do what I got to do. Okay, cool. Keep talking. The same thing with Trump, like she comes in with that phony fake handshake, but you could tell he's just like, yeah. And then he was just calm and delivered his rebuttals. And it was 3 against 1. Those two anchors. They were fair enough, but they were obviously, I would give them a 50%. Like they were pretty biased. Like 100% would be unbiased. They got 50%. They were civil. They ran the microphones decently, but they were pretty biased. They weren't no Trump fans, that's for sure. They were just nasty. Anyway. That handshake thing is kind of important because that's how world leaders deal with each other. There's that undercurrent. There's such a thing as subtext. Reading between the lines. Reading between the lines and subtext is very important in business. Now, while what I explained to you about the handshake is something that you can't definitively judge what I'm saying. I can't definitively judge what I'm saying about that handshake. But if you watch it, it says it all. She walked up, got up in his face, Kamala Harris. And all the pundits were talking. Are they going to shake hands? Are they going to shake hands? Are they going to shake hands? Is the world about shaking hands? Or is the world about stabbing you in the back? Is the world about a fucking foot on your throat? What is the world really about? If you're going to tell me the world's about handshakes, well, I'm going to tell you that it's actually about a foot on your throat. That's what's more important in this world. Not if whether or not you're willing to shake hands. It's whether or not you can put your foot on somebody's throat. That's what's important in this world. Unfortunately. So while they're all, oh, is she going to shake hands? Trump's thinking about putting his fucking foot on anybody's throat who fucks with the United States. Basically. He's just like, okay, yeah, shake my hand, don't shake my hand. That's very interesting. That's subtext, man. And then after she shook his hand, she was on her heels. She was uncomfortable. Throughout the whole debate, she held it together. She by no means dominated. I guess she did well in the fact that she held it together. And if you're a diehard Democrat, she held it together enough that you could consider it a victory. If there's no way that you're going to be swayed, if you're 100% blue, I'm a liberal to the death. I don't care what they say, what they do. I'm just voting for my puppet. Then I guess she can tick that box. But she was not a comfortable person. She did not show. I wouldn't have given her the job. I wouldn't hire her. I didn't have any confidence in her. But hey, that's my opinion. And why I think that's kind of important is because I think where Trump really succeeded is that the independents, the people who were following Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the people that were following the independents, they're more than likely going to go with Trump.
This is the one that weaponized, not me. She weaponized. I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation
We do have a lot to
that
get.
went nowhere.
They already got the endorsement from RFK Jr. And if you're an independent and you've been following the stories and the timeline of what's going on in the States, Trump, I think his values align. His values just align with common sense. If you're a person of common sense who wants peace, prosperity, safety, education, decency, it's very easy to align with Trump. And I think the independents will be able to do that. And I think the independent voters saw that in the debate with Trump and Harris. The abortion issue. Oh my God, do they beat it to death? A lot of people think Kamala won that. Well, what's there to win? Is there anything to win there? An abortion is a nasty situation. And Trump, by having Roe v. Wade overturned, all he really did was, according to him and according to a lot of people, at least according to the Supreme Court, they handed it back to the states, to the people. They put the issue back into the hands of the people. State by state, people can vote and act on how their communities feel about abortion. And Trump made it very clear that he's he agrees with he can concede to abortion in the event that it's in the events of rape, incest, and the danger of the mother's life. That's a lot of common sense. It's like, look, you can't, rape, incest, and the mother's health. Okay, that makes sense. We can make exceptions. There's always an exception. But generally speaking, it's in the hands of the people. And you're going to have to vote your heart and your conscience. And from my perspective, I think a lot of women are waking up to that. And, you know, feminists and feminists and pro-choice people are very loud. But I think the majority of women understand the sanctity and the responsibility of, you know, giving birth. I don't think it's such a hot topic. I think it's angry people pushing their agenda. Because look, it's all about control. The more women can band together in feminist groups and cry victim and scream about this, scream about that, and hate men, they create themselves a little pocket where they have power and access to money and influence and donations and, you know, unchecked power. You know, I'm a feminist woman and I'm angry about all these issues and I'm standing up for women's rights. And they keep themselves in this box, this phony box of power where you can't enter that box. You know, no pun intended. You can't enter their box and debate them and talk to them and reason with them. No, they're in their box. They're in their world. They're angry. They're standing up for women's rights and da da da. It's a power grab. It's a phony, fake power grab. They live in their little world of fake, phony, perceived power. They get their charitable donations, their tax breaks, their DEI jobs. It's unchecked power and balance. That's all feminism is about. Because it disconnects from the rest of the population, men. And it goes against common sense that's been going on since the dawn of time. Men and women come together and, you know, they go hand in hand. It's like peanut butter and jelly. It goes together. And feminism is fighting common sense. They got women fighting against their own nature, their own common sense, what they were designed to be, what they inherently want. They fight against. And in my opinion, a life is a life. That child's heart beating inside the mother's womb, that is a person. So it's not about a woman's right to choose for her body. It's not her body. It's the baby's body. The baby has now become a person. That beating heart is a person. That is a separate person. And this might sound extreme, but if you're so into abortion and it's the woman's choice, her body, her choice, why not just abort yourself? Take it full term. Take it all the way. That's when it's your choice. If you want to jump off a bridge and kill yourself and the child, well then it's your body, your choice. But to just kill the child separately from you, well, it's not your body. It's the child's body. It's the baby's body. You know? The captain should go down with the ship. I don't know. We're living in a time when also women, you know, they pose the question of women's rights as this big intellectual question, this big philosophical question, philosophical point, my body, my choice, women's rights, society, this big issue. Well, if it's this big brainiac thing, what about the common sense of we're living in the 21st century? We have access to condoms, birth control, the rhythm method, counting your cycles, your days. There's so many different ways in which you can avoid a pregnancy. Abstinence, hand jobs, blow jobs, take it in the butt. There are so many ways to avoid a pregnancy that if a woman can't navigate that and ends up pregnant, how do you then stand up on your hind legs and scream about women's rights, and it's my right, my body, my choice, and it's my intellectual property to go my body, my choice. It's like, you're a dummy. You're a dullard. You couldn't even negotiate a condom. You couldn't have the common sense reasoning to have your partner, have the man use a condom and use birth control. You couldn't even negotiate that. Yet you want to step up and scream women's rights and blah, 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 and have this big philosophical, intellectual debate about women's rights. You're too dumb to even use a condom. I don't think you should have the right to have any intellectual discussion if you want to get knocked up. And here's another thing too. Ladies, don't take away the only reason why a man should even respect you to begin with. At least in my opinion, the male respect for women comes from the reality that women give birth. Women can give birth. Wow. That is your God-given right. That is your duty. That is your role. That is your privilege. You know, it really fulfills the spirit when people step up and become their destiny. If it's your destiny to be a mother, then go ahead and be a mother. Don't cop out. Don't abort. Give me a reason to respect you as a woman. Because, if women are all into like, I'm just going to pull the plug. I'm going to go have an abortion whenever I want. I've had 10 abortions. It's like, then what's there to even respect you for? Because, if men and women are equal mentally. Okay, so men and women are equal mentally. Okay, but not physically. So physically, I'm stronger than a woman. So, okay, yeah. That's just biology. That's just God's design. I'm stronger than a woman physically. Oh, and she doesn't want to give birth. Oh, she's an abortionist. Oh, she wants to abort. Okay. Well, what's there to respect her for then? Not in terms of like disrespect, but you're not even willing to carry out the one reason why men should even respect you. That'd be like as if I was a man and go, I am a man. I don't act like a man. I don't stand up for any of my male duties. I'm a lousy father. I don't work. I'm a layabout. I'm a drunk. I'm a fucking drug addict. I don't do anything manly, but I'm a man. Respect my manhood. You'd be like, actually, no, you're not much of a man. You're a bum. This loser doesn't work. This loser doesn't support his children. This loser doesn't support his wife. He's a loser. He's not much of a man. Same thing with women. It's like, if you're not going to be a woman and take on your womanly duty, should you become pregnant to go through with it and do the honorable thing, then why should I give you honor when you don't earn it? I don't know if respect should be earned, but at least the honor of motherhood or I don't know. You get my point, right? These aren't easy things to talk about and think about, but they're pretty truthful, are they not? Even I get a little hesitant saying it, but it rings true. It's true. Think about it. What is there to respect a woman for if she doesn't believe in the key duty of being a woman? The key thing to the superpower that a woman has is the ability to give birth. If she doesn't want to respect that role, then why should I respect her within that role? It's like, what is it to respect you for if you don't even want to do what you were created to do? And again, would you respect me as a man if I was like this loser who's not willing to defend himself? If I was some loser deadbeat father, if I was acting unmanly? But then again, in this world of DEI, we all deserve it. You might even elevate me to fucking Prime Minister of Canada for all I fucking know. So there you have it. Those are some basic ideas and concepts on the debate. Trump, Kamala, 2024. Trump won. If you've been following the stories, he won on the major things. Oh, and the closing speech.
So she just started by saying she's going to do this, she's going to do that, she's going to do all these wonderful things. Why hasn't she done it? She's been there for 3.5 years. They've had 3.5 years to fix the border. They've had 3.5 years to create jobs and all the things we talked about. Why hasn't she done it? She should leave right now, go down to that beautiful White House, go to the Capitol, get everyone together and do the things you want to do, but you haven't done it and you won't do it because you believe in things that the American people don't believe in. You believe in things like we're not going to frack. We're not going to take fossil fuel. We're not going to do things that are going to make this country strong, whether you like it or not. Germany tried that, and within 1 year, they were back to building normal energy plants. We're not ready for it. We can't sacrifice our country for the sake of bad vision. But I just ask one simple question. Why didn't she do it? We're a failing nation. We're a nation that's in serious decline. We're being laughed at all over the world. All over the world, they're laughing. I know the leaders very well. They're coming to see me. They call me. We're laughed at all over the world. They don't understand what happened to us as a nation. We're not a leader. We don't have any idea what's going on. We have wars going on in the Middle East. We have wars going on with Russia and Ukraine. We're going to end up in Third World War, and it'll be a war like no other because of nuclear weapons, the power of weaponry. I rebuilt our entire military. She gave a lot of it away to the Taliban. She gave it to Afghanistan. What these people have done to our country, and maybe toughest of all, is allowing millions of people to come into our country. Many of them are criminals, and they're destroying our country. The worst president, the worst vice president in the history of our country.
Closing speech said it all. He was very well spoken, and it's now in the hands of the people. I mean, people are going to have to vote their heart, vote their conscience, and we'll take it from there. I, living in Canada, totally pro-Trump. Like Viktor Orban, the leader of Hungary, said, how do you get the world back in order? Put Trump back in office. Bring the world back to common sense. So that's how I feel. Living in Canada, we look to America. I mean, even look in our news cycle right now. The onset of this Trump-Biden, then subsequently Trump-Kamala debate, it sparked political movement within Canada. The Conservative Party of Canada is jockeying to get Prime Minister Justin Trudeau. Hi, everyone. Hi, I wear blackface. Those mean old truckers. Those truckers are just so mean. Justin Trudeau. The Conservative Party is like, jockeying to have I guess they call it a carbon election. I don't even really know what that means, something to do with the carbon tax. But they're pushing to have a early election in Canada. They put pressure on the NDP, the new Democratic Party, the new whatever the fuck, the NDP. They're like a liberal type of party. They put pressure on them, the NDP, the new Democratic Party, I think, whatever, to break their alliance with, light's going out. Time to wrap this up. But, to break their alliance with the Liberals here in Canada. So, long story short, it looks like the political climate in America is affecting the political climate here at home in Canada for me. And we may see an early election in Canada as well. And that's the relevance of the 2024 presidential election in America. It reaches the world. It's a far-reaching issue. And we can only hope for the best. And we can only hope for common sense. And no matter what, we just got to keep going forward. And, may God help us all. We truly need it in these times. And as the Brits would say, keep calm and carry on. Till next time, folks. Hallelujah. It's your old chuckle buddy. Guess who? Johnathan James Ramcharan, signing off from duty on this magnificent September 11th, 2024. Trump, Kamala debate 2024. A lot of food for thought. Hit me up, jr.thepodcast@gmail.com. Let me hear your questions, queries, and qualms, folks. jr.thepodcast@gmail.com. Till next time, folks, you live it, you love it, you realize it. Aight. Peace.